Hey everybody, this is me, the Undead Viking, and I want to talk to you about this game right now. It is called Dwarves in Trouble. Now, Dwarves in Trouble is a game for some hapless dwarves that just got discovered in the dragon's treasure hoard, and they are trying to escape out of the cave. But the dragon's going to catch them. He's just faster, he can overtake them and what have you. And but he's only going to focus on the dwarves that have the most gold. So each of you is going to start with a large pile of gold, and as you're racing out the cavern, you're going to be shoving and pushing and fighting and trying to hand off the treasure that you have, or throwing it back into the dragon's treasure hoard, or what have you. And so you can be the first person to have no gold whatsoever on them, in which case then the dragon eats or burns or destroys or kills or claws or tail swipes or what have you the other hapless denizens that happened upon the treasure, and then that you as the dwarf escape out the cave to freedom. So the game is very, very quick to teach. You know, it has basically two rules. You have a hand of cards, and you play the cards that you want to on your turn. And then after that, you can discard the cards if you want to. And then at the beginning of your next turn, if you have less than 4 cards in your hand, you draw back up to 4, and you do the exact thing over and over until finally either the dragon catches up to you and then exacts his justice on the people that have the most gold, or one person manages to get down to 0 gold, in which case they automatically win. But regardless, let me show you how the game is played, show you some of the artwork, show you some of the cards and the actions that are involved, and then we'll come back here and I'll do my final thoughts. Alright, cool, let's do this. Alright, this is Dwarves in Trouble. To begin the game, each person is going to take 20 gold coins and put those in front of them. Remember, you're trying to get rid of all of your gold, or at the very least, once the dragon card is drawn, you have the least gold out of anybody else. All the other gold coins that aren't taken by any of the players will just be put next to the pile of cards, and that's just the dragon's hoard, and you'll be throwing coins in the dragon's hoard, theoretically, if you get the right cards. The big thing is that you will have 4 cards. You have 4 cards, and that is your hand size. If at the beginning of your hand you do not have at least 4 cards, you get to draw up to 4, and then you can go ahead and take your turn. Now, you're not going to usually, you have the option of discarding all the cards in your hand or playing all the cards in your hand, though some cards are offensive. You'll be playing them on your turn, and some cards will be defensive when people try to do things to you. So, as I said, the goal in this game is to get rid of all of your money, because the dragon's going to kill all the dwarves that have the most of his treasure. If you have 0, you are spared. So you draw 4 cards, and on your turn what you'll do is you'll just make up your mind as far as things to do. Now, you might see there's a couple different symbols here, these things with the little gold coins here. That means that it's an action that you'll be taken. These little shield icons mean that you will use those to cancel certain things that happen. Now, you not only can cancel actions that would affect you, you can cancel actions that would affect somebody else as well. Because remember, if like somebody is like got down to like 3 coins or like that, and they had a card where they were able to give 3 coins to somebody else, you could cancel that so that you can prevent them from winning. So some cards you just have are pretty simple, like this one. You need a haircut, and so you're handing the dwarf, he's got really nice hair, really nice beard there, but you're handing that one person 3 coins. Pretty straightforward. A whip around, when you have like everybody, that means all the other players are giving one player 1 gold coin. So you're actually helping out other people, allowing them to get rid of coins as well. And then here's one that says they won't notice. This is like your dwarf putting 2 coins back into the dragon's hoard. Now this one, this no way, this little cancel function, and I should mention the rules actually do a very, very good job of explaining each one of these iconography. And so the game is pretty simple and pretty straightforward. That just cancels an action, any action at all that somebody else has played. I'm just going to kind of dig through here, and just so I can show you some of the other things. Like here's one where roar, the dragon's coming. So everybody gets to put 2 coins into the dragon's hoard. Here's a card that forces somebody to take a coin out of the dragon's hoard, back into their own pile, if you will. this defensive card where it says "I'm not here" and you see a little dwarf with a cross over it, that means that nobody can play any cards to affect this person until their next turn. So like, I'm not here. You can see the other people in the background. And I should mention the artwork on these cards is funny, and I really enjoyed it. And they kind of tell a story too, because you'll see like the same dwarves, like in different situations as far as the game progresses, and you look at all the cards. But basically, this one, he's hiding behind the little pillar there, so nobody else can play anything on that. They'll avoid messing with them, if you will. Not only can you steal coins, but you also have the ability to take cards from other players, so then you can have more actions available to you on your turn. Or, like here you have just be able to draw 2 more cards, into your hand, so you have more actions as well. The game, as I said in the introduction, isn't going to take long to teach. What it is more than anything else is having the presence of mind to understand where everybody is at, pretty much, as far as their coins go. And I should mention that both the cards in somebody's hand, the number, I should say, not the actual cards, but how many gold coins they have left are all open knowledge. You can't hide how many coins you have, though, that would be kind of a weird variant, if you will. But regardless, the game will continue until either one dwarf gets down to no gold, they have none in front of them, or you draw the last card, and it is the dragon. And then the dragon comes out, and whoever has the least number of coins will then win the game, and he runs and escapes out the cave, and all the other dwarves are unfortunately turned to ash, as the rules actually state. So the game is very contentious. It is very, very quick to play. It is in that filler area, but I love the theme. I dig fantasy themes, as you probably well know. I always love games that have a lot of interactivity between you and the other players, and games that foster a lot of table talk and a lot of interaction and enjoyment of who's kind of getting the fuzzy side of the popsicle, if you will. But I'll talk more about that in my final thoughts, which I'll do right now. Oh, there we go, Dwarves in Trouble. So, as I said, the game is not going to take you a long time to learn how to play. It's going to be pretty straightforward. If you've played this type of game, you're going to take to it pretty quickly. But when I say this type of game, this is a take-that game. This is a game where, as I said, it's good because it's all open knowledge, and so who's closest to winning and who you need to exact your crosshairs on, if you will. There's a lot to be said about laying in the weeds a little bit too, and trying to get the right cards in your hand so you can kind of put together a real big turn. I mean, I had a couple of sessions where one player, was just kind of lingering around 7 or 8 coins left, and they weren't really doing much. And I kind of had an idea that they were kind of building to something, but then of course they got the right cards in their hand at that exact moment, and they were able to play several in a row that allowed them to disperse their wealth. Now, thankfully, the last card that would have caused them to win, we were able to cancel it out, but they had put themselves in a pretty good position to win, and then the next turn they were able to draw the cards that allowed them to pull that off. Now, the cool thing about the game is that this isn't a game that takes a long time, so if this is a game that kind of dragged on, you couldn't play this game for an hour. Instead, this is that 15 to 20 minute filler length that perfect game for, and this is what I used it for recently, when you're at a game night and you're just waiting for other people to get there so you can play your bigger game, your 5-player or 6-player games of Eldritch Horror, or maybe a Dead of Winter or something like that. That's going to take you an hour, a couple hours, but that one person, they had to stop and put gas in their car or whatever, and you need to do something while you're waiting. And so we played several sessions of this, 2 or 3, just recently, while we were waiting for 2 people to show up, so we could play a longer game. And it was perfect. We all had fun. It kind of prepped the minds. It got our juices going. We actually played a game of Game of Thrones afterwards, and so we had some hostility built up that kind of fed into the second game a little bit, which was kind of nice. And it's it's definitely one of those games that as I said, you can teach it to somebody about 5 minutes and they're in the flow, they're having fun, and the high interactivity, the table talk, the discussions. Hey, you got to get that guy. You got to make sure he doesn't lose, doesn't get rid of all his coins. Don't take your eyes off of her. You know, she's setting something up. You can tell, you know, and that sort of thing. So I find these games to be highly enjoyable, and I guarantee you that if you like this type of game, you know exactly what type of game I'm talking about. You're really gonna dig this as well. As I said, it kind of tells a story. All the different cards, you kind of recognize the dwarves and the different artwork on the cards. You kind of enjoy that as well. And you know, the fantasy theme, obviously, a big boost for me as well. So if you have any questions about the game, by all means, ask away. I'll try to answer those to the best of my ability. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and until next time, this is me, the Undead Viking, telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. Alright, bye-bye.